All right, coming back on a Monday, as we do, we're going to check in with our course outline, see what's coming, see what we're responsible for, keep making progress. We always follow this course outline. So we are learning today how to color behind our line art. This is called digital coloring. And we're going to learn the basics of computer coloring, especially flat color and duotone. This is going to relate to understanding what's called color separations for industrial printing. In your student learning outcomes, this is called CMYK theory. It's a weird way to name it, but that's what they say in the state mandated outcomes. So the first step to understanding how things are color separated for printing is to realize why you have to have separations of color for effective illustration. So we're going to be learning that, and we'll be learning a little bit more about the printing a little bit later, maybe next class. And then this assignment, assignment 5, which has 3 components: your sketch, your clean vector line art, which we're still working on, and then a full color floating PNG of the illustration. Those are due next class. We're going to do them next class. We're going to hope to have time for a presentation critique next class, and then we're going to start on assignment 6, which is adding text to them. And using that text with our spot illustration, designing that text, making a poster design. Just like the Godzilla one you see here, it has a spot illustration, and then it designs type that goes with it, and then blends it all into a poster design. And then a week from today, scratch that, a week from Wednesday, that is when we will start our individual presentations. So make sure you are looking for an artist. We have a video about finding one and how you post that in the presentation assignment. That is coming. And then after we do our presentations and after we do our posters, we are doing our last assignment that I grade, which is digital painting, which will use a little bit of what we learn with digital coloring, but applies it in a very kind of open-ended way where you just get to paint with the pixels. And then we are on from April 30th on. Actually, no, from April 28th, when I start introducing our conceptual final project. We are going to be applying whatever things we liked most that we learned in the semester, and we're going to be using it on our conceptual final, which will be graded by a full class critique on the last day of class and will be worth 10 points. And all I'll give you, I won't tell you how you do that, and I won't be demoing it for you. Instead, I'll give you the theme, and then I'll work individually with you. That will be Proving Ground 4 on developing your idea. So we do that, and we critique that final gallery project on May 7th. That's our last class day. That's also the last day you can resubmit any projects that are missing, turn in any missing coursework like questions of the day. And all that's left after that is our 7-point final exam, which is going to be on Wednesday, May 14th. All right. So continuing with assignment 5, we can shortcut to assignment 5 by using the assignments link here under unit modules. And realize that there are a lot of supplemental helpful material, a lot, because spot illustration and digital coloring is a big topic. But we can go right to where we post it. Those are all just helpful resources for you. And then the one that I give you in the assignment itself, that's also there on the assignments page, is my exhaustive explanation of digital coloring. This is my handout for it. So far we have sketched our spot illustration. It's free floating, and we're working on making vector line art. By the end of today, we hope to get to the end of this column, where we've also added not just local flat color, but duotone hard edge color to our design. If you have not posted anything yet, post what you can, at least your sketch, right? That's the first requirement. Now, we open that sketch in Adobe Illustrator, and I can help you with setting it up. You make that sketch its own layer. You double click it to onion skin it. So I have mine dimmed to 30%. And then you make a new layer on which, unlock these, we are going to use the Blob brush to do our digital inking. And when we're done, we'll turn off our sketch and just save this vector line art as its own vector that then we can move into Photoshop or Photopea and color behind. But I'm still sketching. So I've got most of it done here. I'm using the Blob brush as my main tool, and I'm using the pencil tool and the smooth tool to kind of clean it up. I double click on the Blob brush. I'm using it as pressure sensitive. I'm putting it right in the middle here, but I might change it to a little bit more smooth than accurate for these curves. And I want to be on the layer that allows me to use it, right? And then it's been a while, so you might need to warm up. I might thicken it just a little bit. But remember, when you thicken it, you also want to thicken its variation if you're using the pressure sensitive instead of the technical line. And the beauty of the Blob brush is you can set it to smooth, and then it will clean up your lines for you as you go. And you can do Command Z. Let's see. If you want to taper it, you use less pressure and then more pressure. You double click on the tool itself. Yes, so if you're bringing in your sketch, all you have to do is, I'll do it with a new one. So I'm going to open up my assignment 5 folder. In that, I should have my sketch. There's my sketch there. I right click, I open that with Adobe Illustrator. So that sketch is now in. I have to use the large selection tool, click on it. This is to set up for inking. And then I see it under layers. So double click next to the name of the layer, not on the name of the layer, or you'll only be able to rename it. Then you get this dim image option. And I'm going to set that to 30% and then say OK. Then you want to lock it so that you can make a new layer, and that's where all of your vector inking is going to go. And you have to set your vector inking to be a black fill with no stroke. Like that. And then you can just start inking like you're using an ink pen or a brush. And you double click that brush to play with its settings. What's great about the Blob brush is as you ink, it will keep building the same vector. It will keep adding to the vector as long as it's a puddle of ink. So it's not going to make a ton of different shapes. Instead, it's going to combine them where possible, which is very helpful. Yes?
How do we get like the tools on the side?
If you lose your tools, you can if you lose any window, you can go to Window and you can find them. So the toolbars, you just want the basic toolbar. That's what that is. So if you lose it, go to Toolbars, click on Basic, and you should get it back. And if your settings get really messed up in Illustrator, I can help you restart Illustrator with all the default settings intact. Because you do need to be able to find your tools. Now notice as I'm inking, I'm stopping wherever I don't want the ink to be. Right? So I'm trying to avoid using the eraser tool because there's no smooth function on the eraser tool. So when I need to make a correction and clean it up, because I'm using a variety of line weights here, I'm going to use the pencil tool for that. So let me show you. As things come together, right, maybe they're not as clean as you want them, though this doesn't need to be perfectly clean. I'm going to go to my small selection tool. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to use the pencil tool. And you can double click on the pencil and set it to be more smooth or more accurate. And I start on the path and end on the path, and I can clean up these transitions. Because the blob brush keeps them all as one vector, that gives you just one edge. It's like magic scissors for cutting things out. So this one that I just painted, I just need to smooth it out, but make sure you start on the path and end on the path. Yeah. Now when you have multiple ones, this is because these were blob brushes that I finished earlier, and now these are new ones. If I wanted to merge them all together, I can use my small selection tool, hold down Shift and Command, select the ones that they are overlapping, and then use the Pathfinder tool, which you can find under Window Pathfinder, and I can merge them. So now they're all one. I can merge that one now with this one. Now it doesn't really matter, but it can help you adjust the edges. So I like to have everything merged as much as possible. All right, what's left? Yes, rotating the image. So sometimes, in order to get the inking to flow a little bit better, just like you would change your paper, if you go to the magnifying glass, the zoom tool, you'll find in it a rotate view tool. And all you do is click and drag, and that will change the angle of your canvas so that when you use your tools, it'll be at a more comfortable angle for you. So honestly, my opinion of Illustrator is it's wonderful, but you really have to kind of limit your use of it. It's got so many features that we're not learning. It's got 3D tools. It's got lots of repetition and pattern making tools for textile design. Stuff that helps with 3D models, because remember 3D models are made of vectors. But we just want to master the anchor point, just the basic understanding of the tool. So that's why we just learn a few simple things so that we can control it and understand when it goes wrong, because it does seem to go wrong a lot. It's all designed for very precise clicks and control. Now the one tool I haven't shown you that I like today is the smooth tool, right? Which is just a way to average out your anchor points, as long as you have them visible. And then to get it to rotate back to its original position, you just double click on that rotate hand tool. Right, that rotate hand tool is probably going to come in handy as I do this sword. Why am I not looking forward to the sword? Well, because it has to be straight, right? Straight lines are tough. And so if I don't want to try to freehand it with the blob brush, well, that's pretty good. But if I didn't want to try to freehand it, smooth's going to help me out. I could use the shape tool and just make long rectangles. But they're going to look pretty different because that rectangle is going to be an exact line weight, like a technical line weight all the way through. And I've used a lot of varied line weights. So I'm going to rotate it a little bit, see if I can get a more comfortable angle on this. Yeah, that works.